Canada, the true north, strong and free. As the many lakes and waterways start to freeze over, Mother Nature takes control, sending most people away from the water.
We Canadians think we're a hardy bunch. While we may not have the luxury of a southern climate, we definitely have the adventure of a northern one. By the look of things, you'd think boating is done for the winter around here. It's almost Christmas, and I just got a call from a friend who wants to go for that last boat ride of the season, just before they pull their boat out for good.
The ice has already come and gone a few times, and the snow is spotty. We have some snow here in the harbor, but apparently our friend Jackie doesn't have any snow, just ice. I've always wanted to boat in the snow, and the weather today looks like my last opportunity. As the cold winter blows in and the animals get ready to hibernate, we plot a course north to Gravenhurst for a little snowy adventure.
Jackie!
Hey, John!
Now that's how you start a fire. Holy smokes. It's kind of cold.
A little chilly today.
Yeah, we've got a fair bit of ice. Is that going to be okay?
Oh, we'll be fine. It's a newbie boat.
So why do you leave it in so late?
In a normal year, non-COVID, we use it right up to the very end because most of our friends are at the other end of the lake.
Right.
And it's probably 45 minutes to drive around, but it's 10 minutes to take the boat. We use it right up to the bitter end, which might be today.
Could be today. Well, there's a fair bit of ice. Normally, is there this much ice this early?
Depends on the year, but normally we have snow before we have ice.
Oh.
So it's nice to go for a boat ride in a snowstorm. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
This year, we have not much snow, but we're getting some serious ice out there.
So how late have you had it in? What's the latest?
The latest we've had it in was actually Christmas 2015, because it was a warm, sunny, beautiful day. We went for a Christmas Eve cruise, had our friends over. It was beautiful. And then we actually took it out that year before we had ice for the first time ever. Normally, it's coming out with ice on it.
Well, the transition this year is crazy. I mean, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we took a Ranger Tug for a test on Georgian Bay. It was sunny and like 14 degrees.
Yeah, you might as well go get your hat and mitts and we'll get going.
Yeah, it's pretty cold. I'm definitely going to put a hat on, put some mitts on.
Control that fro.
The temperature was dropping, which means the ice was getting thicker. I was not convinced we're going to get very far. Wow, she's an oldie but a goodie. When did you get this boat?
I think we got it about 6 or 7 years ago.
Why'd you want to buy this kind of boat?
The hard top makes it nice so you can be warm, early season, late season. Greg uses the boat for work a fair amount when he's got jobs down the other end of the lake. It's a nice sturdy boat. You don't have to worry about messing it up, but it gets the job done.
Is there a heater?
There is a heater in it.
I hope we're going to be able to get off the dock. There's a fair bit of ice. Do we have to do a little pushing and chopping? What's the strategy?
We might end up doing a little bit of pushing and chopping. The weight of the boat, it's a pretty heavy boat.
Yeah.
So the weight of it, generally, when it gets up on top, should help us break through.
Gets up on top. You mean you ride up on top?
A little bit
Really?
sometimes. Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. Unfortunately, we have to play Masked Marauder.
Hey, it's my Christmas mask.
This is what prevents us from being locked down. Besides, it's warm.
It is warm.
It is crazy to see a boat encased in ice. Would the engine even start?
And the lines are a little frozen.
They are a little frozen.
So this time of year, we don't actually tie up. We just kind of loop them.
Loop it around. Yeah, that'll work.
All right, let's give her a shot.
You want to push us out a little? Oh!
Icebreaker, icebreaker.
Holy smokes, holy smokes. Listen to that! I'm on a boat, it's December! Holy Hey, hey, hey!
I know, that sound isn't the best.
That's the most unnatural boating sound.
It's not the normal sound of waves.
And the view out the windshield. It's like we're going snowmobiling. It's the weirdest view.
It's unnatural if you're not used to it. This is a first for you, I'm guessing.
It's a first for me, you know what? It is so cool. This company's been building boats for 40 or 50 years.
Yeah, they have. Based in Newfoundland. They make a solid boat.
Yeah, no kidding. If it handles the ice, it must handle the waves pretty good.
So when we were looking to get a trailer for it, and Greg called up Ocean Fisher, and they said, trailer? What do you need a trailer for? Just pull it up on shore and leave it. It's really snowing now.
Although this may appear to be a dangerous endeavor, with the proper safety precautions in place, we were able to enjoy one last boat ride as winter sets in around us.
God, that's good. You don't have to go any further. I don't want to hurt your boat. Thank you so much for bringing me out. How long are you going to leave this in?
Actually, I think today we're bringing it out. In fact, if you wanted to give me a hand when we're done.
Absolutely. I'd love to give you a
Perfect.
hand.
That'd be great.
Oh, well, I want to take a peek at the bottom when we're done, too.
It gets nice and clean.
And I'm pretty sure I've got this bet nailed because there's no way you can go any longer than this.
I wouldn't think so.
Well, it is the middle of December. My hands are already getting cold, but we are boating. And that means it's time to call Drew because we have a little bet back in the fall. Who's gonna boat the latest? And the loser has to go for a polar bear dip.
Hey, Johnny.
You'll never guess where I am.
Oh, yeah, where's that?
I'm on a boat!
No way, it's freezing.
That's right. We even had to break some ice.
No way.
You know what that means?
I'm going swimming.
A bet's a bet.
Yeah, it sure is.
And don't forget to film it.
I know, because if you didn't get it on film,
It
never
never
happened.
happened.
Yeah. All right, I'll do that for sure.
Have fun.
All right, I'll see you later.
Oh, the poor guy.
Now, little does John know, I had some plans of my own that'll turn the tables on this little wager of ours. Come with me.
40 miles an hour? This is not your average tug. Perhaps the worst thing about cruising in a northern climate is by the end of the season, we all have to pull our boats out of the water and winterize them. And that usually happens around the end of October. Today, it's the middle of November, and we're gonna go for a boat ride. Why? Because this is Ranger Tugs R-27, which was designed to extend your cruising season well into the colder months.
Not only is the R-27 capable, it is trailerable. With an 8-foot 6-inch beam and a dry weight of 7,000 pounds, it can be trailered by a half-ton truck without any special licenses or wide load permits. Outboard power has a few advantages for exploring and trailering. They can be trimmed completely out of the water and they self-drain, which makes trailering in colder months much simpler. But 300 horsepower in a boat this size should make for an interesting test. Well, more on that later.
There are a few ways to get on the boat, but check out how big this platform is. Now, some outboard platforms are a bit narrow and hard to traverse, but this one's big enough that it's easy to get from side to side. Is that a ski pylon on a tugboat? Well, that is another sign this might not be a traditional tug. One of the challenges with a trailerable boat is cockpit space because the beam can be no more than 8.5 feet wide. But Ranger's R-27 has 2 folding benches, providing enough space for 4. Add a couple of deck chairs and 6 could easily have dinner out here al fresco. The electric grill and sink are standard, but unlike most cruisers, Ranger actually provides a dedicated spot for your propane and even includes 2 tanks, so there's no excuse if you run out.
Below the deck, we find 3 storage compartments, and the center one is huge.
Now over here we notice 4 AGM batteries totaling 440 amp hours. Now the F300 will have no problem charging these batteries, but without a gen set on board, you're gonna have to plug into shore power to run the reverse cycle heat and air conditioning system. However, we did see an interesting option on the Ranger website.
A lithium-powered inverter package that can run the reverse heat and air system. Another compromise to a narrow beam are narrow side decks, which can be tricky to navigate. But Ranger adds these angled gunnel extensions plus big grab rails all the way along for added security.
This 140-watt solar panel is standard equipment, and there's room for 2 more, which could come in handy if you opt for the big inverter and the lithium bank. Forward, we find an extra tall stainless railing, a top-mount Lumar windlass with foot pedal controls, and even a hatch to untangle the road. But the very cool feature is this double wide bench seat, which is elevated off the deck to make it really, really comfortable. The only thing missing is someone to enjoy the sunrise with.
Stash the cushions, and this seat folds flat to ensure a clear view from the helm.
All of the teak you see here is real, and it has a warmth that synthetics just can't match.
The galley features a full stove with 2-burner cooktop, full oven, and plenty of storage. Flipping the passenger seat forward adds a bit more counter space. Removing the cutting board reveals a large stainless sink, and just below we find a reasonably large fridge, and just across under the helm seat is the microwave.
To fit a 4-person dinette and a full galley in a boat that is trailerable took some thinking. And first, the teak table folds to expose a grab rail and a couple of extra cup holders. And both backrests pivot, so this one doubles as a helm seat. And if that weren't enough, below we find a single berth.
Opening the aft window will allow more fresh air in while allowing someone to enjoy the action in the cockpit. Forward, we find a well-lit standing wet head to starboard with a shower, vacuum flush toilet, glass sink, and more of that beautiful warm teak. To port, there is a small hanging closet and secure location for a Keurig-style coffee maker. The forward V-berth is roomy with plenty of headroom. It is also well lit and has plenty of screened hatches for ventilation. A Garmin 8612 chart plotter with sonar, radar, and autopilot will help you go anywhere in almost any weather. Yamaha's digital instruments and controls allow precise control over the engine while providing all the information you might need at a glance. The bow thruster is standard equipment and a must-have on a single outboard powered boat. The 4.2-liter F300 is the most powerful V6 in Yamaha's lineup. At only 558 pounds, it is both light and fuel efficient. Time to plane is right around 6.5 seconds.
We get to 30 miles an hour in under 11 seconds. That's right, 30 miles an hour, and we blow right past it. Oh, so close. I'm pretty confident she'll do 40 if you lighten the load a little. But 40 miles an hour, this is not your average tug. And if we trim the motor up, we can actually get ourselves a bit of a rooster tail. So we're still doing 24 miles an hour. Let's trim her down and see how the hull handles a bit of turn. This is supposed to be a tug? Now, the only thing I can tell you is I do lose sight of the horizon a little bit with the roof, but those atrium windows are actually perfectly positioned for me to see through while we're turning. Look at this. I don't believe it. But I'll tell you what, the ride is very, very smooth. You can notice the bow has a very fine entry point, so when you are running at displacement speeds or subplaning speeds, it's going to slice through the waves nicely. When we get it up on top, it still rides really well, but it definitely feels so solid. But I think what's really most interesting about this boat is the fact that you can trailer it. And that really changes the game as to where you might want to consider boating. I mean, it opens up all of North America. We could literally put this boat in a trailer and be in Vancouver or Seattle in a couple of days. I mean, can you imagine? Alaska, here we come. So much easier when you don't have to cut the width of the bunks. They're exactly the right length. Our trailers are often ignored, if not neglected entirely. In fact, on this one, I noticed the bunk carpets were starting to fail about 2 years ago, and I haven't done anything about it yet. Really didn't have the time for what I thought might be a big job. But our friends at Sea Choice do make the job much easier by selling bunk carpets specifically tailored for 2x6, 2x8, and 2x10 bunks. And this should allow us to replace the bunk carpet in about half an hour. Occasionally, you will notice that the bunks themselves are rotten. This one's not too bad. We could just flip them around, put this side to the front, but we are gonna cover them with new bunk carpet, and it's gonna last probably 10 years or more, whereas this wood probably won't in and out of the water. And this side actually looks even worse. Yikes. So imagine if this breaks sometime down the summer, what's gonna happen is the fiberglass is gonna run right against the metal of the trailer. Ew, we don't want that. So for another 30 bucks or so, we're just gonna replace these with brand new pressure-treated 2x6s.
After purchasing new wood, we set about removing the old bunks while attempting to save some of the screws. it's time to cover the new 2x6s, which I like to do before mounting them on the trailer. It's just easier to staple when you can flip them over.
And it's nice, they're already the right width, so all we gotta do is cut one end. This saves a ton of work of cutting, measuring. I like to wrap them around just a little bit to hold them on nice and tight, kind of mark it, and do a quick cut.
Now these are made of solution-dyed polyester, which means they'll resist mold and mildew, and they won't fray or unravel like normal carpet might. It is so much easier when you can flip the bunk over and staple from above.
Ta-da! So much easier when you don't have to cut the width of the bunks. They're exactly the right length.
Since the lag bolts are a 1/4 inch in diameter, it is a bit easier to drill them out first.
We want to make sure we don't drill right through our new carpeted bunks. So we're going to tape our drill bit so that our drill bit can't go too far right out the other end of our bunks. And to make it easy to make sure they're straight, I'm going to drill one hole at the back and one at the front and just put 2 bolts in to start so I can align the bunks with the trailer. Well, there you have it. In 30 to 45 minutes, we have brand new pressure-treated bunks with brand new polyester carpet. And this stuff's pretty tough, and it should last at least 10 years. So if you want to save a few bucks, might as well do it yourself.
I'm not excited about this, I gotta say. It's freezing.
After making it back to shore safe and sound, I gave Jackie a hand taking their ocean fisher out of the water.
It's ready to be snowmobile season.
It's time to get it out.
I think it is.
And just like that, our boating season was officially over.
Well, Jackie, that was awesome.
That was a pretty good boat ride.
I mean, you cringe when you hear the noise, but I'll tell you what, that little Newfie boat, she has no problem handling the ice.
It's a heavy boat. It helps. Whew. Thanks for your help getting it out of the water. That made my life easier.
You saw the forecast for tomorrow, -11, -12. It was 1.5 inches of ice. I wouldn't want 3 inches.
No.
So John just goes for a warm, nice, leisurely boat ride, and he thinks he's gonna win this bet. Little does he know, I too put a call in this morning, only it wasn't just for a boat ride. These lunatics are up for some winter barefoot water skiing. I'm pretty sure that one-ups John.
Wait, water skiing?
Guys, I texted you. How do you get that wrong?
Skiing? I thought you said skating.
My buddies Craig and Taylor are die-hard water skiers, and when they found out about my little bet with John, they were more than willing to help a brother out. Even though Taylor's boat had already been put to bed for the winter, he was more than willing to drop it in for one last session. And this is no ordinary ski boat. This is a 1993 Mastercraft Barefoot 200. And with the Evinrude 200 E-Tech, summerization and winterization happen with just the press of a button.
Great day for a foot, fellas?
Can't wait.
Yeah. What is it about this Barefoot 200, Craig, that makes it the ultimate barefooting boat?
It's a combination of the speed and the wake that is just incredible. It's my favorite boat to foot on, so excited to get back out in December.
Hey, yeah, does this count as next season or the past season?
End of the year for 2020, we're gonna say goodbye.
What's the latest that you guys have ever been out footing?
November 15th has been our latest so far.
Unreal.
We got the wetsuits, we got the toe warmers, we got the hats, and we don't have heater water back at home, so we're counting on ourselves today.
Keep the truck running, keep the heated seats fired up. This is, I was gonna say crazy, it's more like stupid, I think, if you ask me. Most important thing, how do we decide who goes first?
Rock, paper, scissors.
3 of us?
Let's do it.
Oh, man. That's
You're
it.
up.
All right.
Drew.
I'm not excited about this, I gotta say. It's freezing. Oh, I don't know when I'll be able to feel my feet again. The craziest thing is the ice on the boom. It's so hard sliding out there, so you guys should throw the handle on.
All right.
And we're good to go.
I get up in the ride, slide over the vibe, and Rosarito, I know the key to surviving.
Yeah, dude!
Wanna make you wanna run up and get your cut of the bread back and stash the bundle of cash into your bed. I look good up in the wooded panel, could have been a surfer instead, and even mentally gone, I still be not my head.
Oh, hang on. Phone's going off. I wonder if Drew's done his polar bear dip yet. Oh!
Johnny!
Mr. Drew, how's it going?
Check it out.
Oh, yeah? No way.
Yep, I see your boat ride and raise you a December barefoot session with my buddies Craig and Taylor.
So I guess I'm going swimming?
A bet's a bet.
All right.
Totally worth it.
It's not that bad.